I am Sindbad. People fondly call me Sindbad the Sailor. Throughout my life, I have been a part many voyages. Today, I am going to narrate to you the story of two of the most interesting adventures I have ever been through. I had inherited sufficient wealth from my parents, but being young and foolish, I spent all the money carelessly. Then, to improve my fortune, I joined a company of seafaring merchants. We went from island to island, often making excellent bargains until one day we landed at a spot which was covered with fruit trees and abounded with springs of excellent water. We got down on the island while the others wandered here and there gathering flowers and fruits. I sat down in a shady place, having heartily enjoyed the food and the wine. Soon I fell asleep. How long I slept, I do not know, but when I woke up, I realized with horror that I was alone on the island and the ship was gone. Allah, I am trapped on this island. How can the ship leave me alone here? What will I do? Help! Help! I was not able to think what to do. I looked around to find a means of escape from this situation. I climbed a tree and scanned the surroundings for some help, but I could see nothing hopeful. Then my curiosity was excited by a huge, dazzling white object. What can it be? I have not seen such a thing in my whole life. Sinbad decided to approach this white-looking object. This white ball was of immense size and height. I walked round it, seeking some opening, but there was none. What is it? It looks like some rock. But it's not hard, like a rock. What can it be? I was occupied in these thoughts when something like a huge black cloud came swiftly over me. I looked towards the sky. It's a huge bird. It must be the wonderful bird, rock of which sailors often speak. Oh, then this huge white thing must be its egg. The huge bird hovered above the egg, preparing to settle down upon it. What do I do now? And then I thought of something. I hastily unbound my turban and tied it to the foot of the rock. The bird sat on the egg for a while, covering it with its wings. Then suddenly I was in the air. Oh, I feel dizzy. I better not look down. I felt so scared that I closed my eyes. And then the rock flew down to a deep valley filled with darkness. As soon as I felt myself on hard ground, I unbound my turban. The very next moment, the rock killed a huge snake with its powerful beak, and seizing it, rose up into the air and soon disappeared from my view. Free from the fear of the rock, I now observed the place I was in. I discovered to my amazement and delight that the ground was strewed with diamonds, but my delight was quickly damped to see several horrible snakes occupying the valley. Who will help me now? These snakes will not spare me, and there is no way I can climb these steep mountains. Fortunately for me, the snakes seemed to hide in the caves of the rocks during the day and only came out in the night. probably because of their enemy, the rock. All day long, I wandered up and down the valley, and when it grew dark, I crept into a little cave, blocking the entrance of the cave with a stone. The entire night, I kept myself hidden inside the cave in fright of being harmed by the snakes. The next morning, the snakes must have retreated to the caves. It's the right time to move out. I sat upon a rock thinking of my fate when I was startled by something which fell to the ground with a thud close behind. What is this sound? It was a fresh piece of meat. Looking around, I saw many more chunks of meat scattered about. Now I understood that the stories of the famous Valley of Diamonds were indeed true. Merchants came to the valley at a time when the eagles had hatched their young. They then threw great lumps of meat into the valley, which fell with much force upon the diamonds and took up some of the precious stones with them. Later, the eagles pounced upon the meat and carried it off to their nest to feed their young. Then the merchants, scaring the birds away with their cries, secured their treasures. I think I know a way of escaping from this place. I just hope. I began by picking up all the largest diamonds I could find and stored them carefully in my pockets. I should take a part of this unclaimed wealth from here. It may help me in future. I then chose a large piece of meat and with the help of my turban bound it firmly to my back. When this was done, I laid down upon my face and waited for the eagle. I just hope my trick works. I soon heard the flapping of mighty wings, and one of the eagles seized me by the piece of meat. Soon I was again in the air. At last the eagle dropped me in its nest. Oh dear, how will I get out from this nest without being noticed? The merchants were on the watch, and voicing their usual outcries, they rushed to the nest, scaring away the eagle. I was thus saved. Amazement was great when they discovered me, and so was their disappointment at not finding the jewels. I'm sure if you knew all that I have suffered, you would feel sympathetic towards me. And as for the diamonds, I have enough here for me and all your company. Great, great. In return, we will take you back to Baghdad. I hope it's a fair deal. I gladly accompanied them. I exchanged one of my diamonds for such merchandise, by which I profited greatly on our journey back home. At last we reached Baghdad. So I started my journey with merchants of my acquaintance to distant lands. After 2 days of quiet journey, a terrible storm drove us towards a strange island. I would rather prefer to anchor anywhere than here. This island and all the adjoining ones are inhabited by hairy savages who are certain to attack us. The captain had not finished even his woods when, look, we are in trouble already. Now only God can save us. Hundreds of savages had surrounded our ship. Then they started tearing the sails, biting the cable of the anchor with their sharp teeth and nails, and rushing all about the ship. All of us stood silently on the shore without daring to do anything. We were anxious about what these beasts would do next when suddenly a giant sea wave swept away our ship, and with the ship, the horrible beasts were swept away too. For some moments, we were happy and relieved at being rid of the terrible creatures, but the very next moment, we remembered that we were deserted on a strange island. We had lost all our cargo and provisions too. We wandered miserably over the island, tired and hungry. Suddenly, we saw in the far distance a huge building and proceeded warily towards it. When we reached it, we saw that it was a huge castle. I pushed back the heavy door and all of us entered the courtyard of the castle. There was a great hall. There was a great hall beyond the courtyard. The castle looked deserted. All of us were so tired that we lay down on the ground and were asleep within a few seconds. We must have slept for a couple of hours when suddenly the ground began to shake. We all sat up in terror. Suddenly, shh, shh, look, someone is coming. A giant creature entered the hall. I had not seen such a horrible looking creature in my whole life. All of us were frightened beyond. The giant approached the captain and finding him the fattest of all of us, took him up in one hand. The miserable captain fainted in terror. Our hearts leapt to our mouths as we watched in alarm. But instead of eating him, as we had thought, the monster put the captain in one corner, stretched out on the ground, and soon was snoring loudly. We realized that the monster's stomach was full at the moment, and so he must have put him away for his next meal. However, we could not even try to escape as the only door was blocked by the sleeping monster. We had to try and work out a plan to escape from the horrible fate awaiting us. Is that a pot of honey kept in the corner? I think it can be helpful. I put into two long sticks into the honey, and going softly up to the monster, covered his eyes with sticky honey. The monster jumped up to his feet with a terrible cry. Then he tried to grab us, but being blinded with the sticky honey, he was unable to catch us. Screaming horribly, he managed to go up to the door and staggered out. Finding it a perfect opportunity, we rushed out of the castle and down to the sea as fast as we could. Quick, collect the driftwood and make rafts fast. We must get out of here before the giant comes. We floated the rafts in water and had barely got upon them when the giants, seeing their prey escape, seized up huge pieces of rock and threw at us. But fortunately, we had gone out of their reach. Now we were at the mercy of the winds and waves, which tossed our pitiable rafts to and fro all the day and night. When it was morning, I found myself near an island. I could not see the rafts or any of my companions. The island was filled with delicious fruits, trees. After having satisfied my hunger, I lay down to rest down. Suddenly, I was aroused by a loud rustling noise. Starting up, I started running for my life and seeing a tall tree, quickly climbed up onto it. The tree was full of thorns and I badly cut and bruised my body. The terrible snake crawled towards the tree, hissing horribly, but luckily for me, it did not climb up the thorny tree. I passed a fearful night. The snake waited below eager to eat me up, and glided round and round. I couldn't sleep a wink. The next morning, the snake went away in search of food. Although I was shaking with fear, I came down from the tree and ran towards the sea. To my joy, I saw a ship sailing by. The crew members noticed me. "Hello, save me!" The captain of the ship was the person with whom I undertook my last voyage. However, he did not recognize me. My story moved the kind man greatly. Your story is unfortunate indeed. I have some merchandise in the name of Sinbad the sailor, which I am going to hand over to his family as the poor man is dead. You can sell this merchandise and I will give you commission on this. Look well at me. I am that Sinbad. The captain looked at him carefully and also checked the mark on my goods. Now he was convinced that I was indeed Sinbad the sailor. "So you are alive! What a joyous surprise!" He embraced me joyfully and asked me to take possession of all my goods. The ship get sailed towards Baghdad. I was about to reach home and meet my beloved family once again. Our voyage was a prosperous one, and after visiting many lands and collecting a great variety of merchandise, I found myself in Baghdad. I gave large sums of money to the poor and to my friends and relations, and once again I settled to a happy and peaceful life. However, soon I was to embark on a new and adventurous journey, but that is another story altogether. I'll catch you with interesting stories like this. Until then, bye from your Zuma Selvakumar. Thank you. Have a nice day.